Hi, I'm Larry Miller, but in a way, aren't we all? And on This Week with Larry Miller, for one thing, we talk about how to know when you're yelling. It's a big thing in life. I know you know this. Sometimes, these days, when you just give a direct thought to someone, if you just look someone in the eyes and say something you're thinking, people will say, "Why are you yelling at me?" You're not yelling at them. You're actually just saying something with clarity. We're all used to being so parenthetical. We're all used to saying, well, I think this. Well, I'm not saying I think that. I'm not saying we should go there. Maybe if we went there, I'm not saying to you we should go there. We're all used to speaking in such gray tones that if you actually just say something directly, it jars people and they think you're yelling at them. It translates to them as if you're yelling at them. My wife had something happen with a lawn chair company, and she was great. And it was the coolest thing in the world because it was just what you and I want to do. She spoke to the guy on the phone and got him to admit he had lied to her about something, even though he was all over the place. You know, it was like trying to pin down Mercury. But she did. And then the guy said, "Why are you yelling at me?" But she hung in there and said, "I'm not yelling at you. I'm telling you this." And she held him to it. Not feet to the fire. She held him to it. It's a very cool thing. And I'll tell you the story this week. In addition, I remembered, that took my memory back. I remember how my dad used to sneak an extra drink. He was allowed one drink. He used to fill up a giant tumbler of scotch and drink that with the refrigerator door open at the dinner table so that my mom and sister couldn't see, but I could see. And I used to look at him at the door was open. He used to be leaning in the refrigerator, drink it upside down. I don't even know how he did it. And he'd fill the whole tumbler with that was the one drink he was allowed. And then so he could stand up, and he was as red as if he'd been buried in the desert up to his neck. And then he would refill it again and say, "Okay, here's my one drink," and then take that to the table. And I would just watch him walk because he had just chugged a giant drink. And all these things reminded me of something because my kids at one point had said, "Oh, you can't drink." Oh, they were teaching them at school. It was National Drug Week and how all drinking leads to this. And then you go to the hospital and you die. And it made me so mad that I thought, something has to be done about this. And I called an emergency meeting of the science teacher and the principal. They were very nice, and we've been friends all these years. And you know what? It worked out fine. But it worked out in a funny way because they said the same thing. "Why are you yelling at me?" Our faces were very close in. So it all winds up coming together, as always, only here on This Week with Larry Miller and only at www.acelarrymiller.com. So subscribe for free through iTunes or check out any episode you want at acelarrymiller.com. We'll see you here.